Hello, this is the tutorial. I will talk a little bit about the digital modeling for project 3, the long route along the Loring County, and how to model this as a group. So first, I updated a little bit about project 3. In this section, modeling in InfraWorks, I break down the task into individual categories, and I would like to go through them quickly. So first, you should always use Google Map as your reference. So here is a link to the Loring County, actually close to the bridge, which is the one intersect with the river, the stream. So you can see this in 3D. So that's a 3D model. You can always use this 3D model as your reference to look around. You can also drag this small human figure so you can see the street map. So you can see here the bridge, and here is the buildings and trees and some of the landscape stuff, some road sign, and also you can see the utility pool. And we're not really model the cables, but utility pools. You have some tree really close to the road. You have some guardrails. So that's basically what you need to do, is always pay attention to the 3D view on the street map, especially close to the intersection. You should pay attention to, hey, what's the building around the intersection, the church, the utility pools. Sometimes you have this signage, you have the mailbox. So these all the 3D model you should have at the end. The utility pool is set back from the road, and also some signage, also traffic light. Okay, so the tutorial here I would like to give you for today is just how we're gonna start with a basic building, and we might do another tutorial for tree, and do another tutorial for other city furnitures like utility pool, mailbox, street light. So we'll break down this into multiple tutorial, and this one is only focused on the building as the first step. As we discussed in class for the road and the bridge and the guardrail, because it's associated with the road, so I will assign the GA and two of them to do the road. You don't have to do the road anymore. So what you want to do is focus on the building, the tree, and the city furniture. Later I will talk about customized 3D library. So that is another set of tasks for you besides the default materials in the library. So anyway, let's start with the building. We're gonna actually use the bridge as our reference. Actually, the link is just refresh it. Okay, so that is a bridge with a few. Oh, okay, let me just reopen the link. It'll be easier this way. Google Map. Right, so you see the bridge. So we're gonna using this as a reference. I'll show you how to model the building, how to model some other features in the next few tutorials. So first, let's switch to 3D. I wanna just take a close look around this bridge, and I can hold in shift, change the view. You can see most of the trees are pretty far away from the road, and also this building is pretty far away from the road. Okay, what we care is the front of the building. We want to see this in a simulation. And also just keep in mind the simulation is during the winter time, so everything will be covered by snow. So we want to see some winter tree. The building, I think there will be snow on the roof as well. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead to InfraWorks to model this. So first, I want to show you quickly this new file. name is Bldg. This is the file we just refreshed. Download this actual, this missing piece from the previous version. So everything here is available. GFK 3 is there. So first thing I will do is we have the overlay from the DWG file, which I can show you quickly. I loaded this through the data source, and I add a new data source as 2D overlay, which is AutoCAD DWG, and that overlay carry this line work. So once I add it in, I can scale up to match with our satellite image. So this give you the reference about the site. Some of you are doing an RO1, some of them do the GFK, so you can see the site you're going to focus on. And everything fall inside this rectangular box, which is basically 100 meters offside from both way. You should model it. For example, the building inside, or tree inside, or utility pool inside. If some building is on the edge, maybe you want to model this anyway, because it maybe is quite visible from the driving simulation. So I want to see that building, even if it's touch the yellow line. Okay, so that's the boundaries you want to focus on. And also, in order to select, objects, you can actually open the layer. So here I have the layer, and I turned off, I locked the ODOT overlay layer. So this one is is locked. I can also turn it off, so you don't see this overlay. They are just reference. Okay, so that is the layer I turned locked. And also I locked the intersections and the roads because this is assigned to 2GAs. I don't want you accidentally delete or relocate the roads, so I locked them. But for some reason, if you do want to select or modify, you can unlock these two layers, roads and intersection. Alright, so this is the layer. It's called Model Explorer, which you can open from this button. Okay. I also create a bookmark. This name is Bldg. This could be very handy as well. If I click, I can quickly jump to Bldg. If you work on some particular site, you want to quickly jump into your site, you can just go here, add a new bookmark. Just make sure you have a meaningful name for your bookmark, so you can jump quickly to that place. Okay, so that's the second thing about bookmark. And also in application options, which is associated with your software, I do want to show you. I set up the unit as impure, so it's not metric anymore. And for the 3D graphics, I kind of make the quality for optimize for quality. But if your laptop is not able to handle this high polygon site, you want to switch to speed. Really depends on your graphic card actually. Okay, so that is something you want to toggle a little bit just to see what setting your computer is able to handle. Right? You can also turn off shadows if it's not efficient for you to handle. I turned off the realistic water. Usually I don't really care too much about this water thing. For model generation, I keep the building facade detail as low. That is the best option as a start point. Everything else is kind of default. Alright, so that's just my settings in application options. Alright, so I think that's pretty much about what you need to prepare at the beginning. Then let's talk a little bit how to model the building. Okay, so in my project 3, I write down two options. First one is doing the footprint-based procedural modeling. So basically, you create a 2D polyline, and you pick a 2D facade, it will automatically generate a 3D model for you. So that's one option. Another option is doing the 3D model. There is a few collections there for 3D building. You cannot re-edit this 3D model, which is just as it is in the palette. So I will show you both methods, and you can decide which one fits you better. So first, let's go here. So this is kind of like a country club, right, near the bridge, which is one I want to model. So first thing I want to do is check out the Google map. I just got a good understanding what this building looks like. Now that's a red roof with a few. I think it's 1 story high. Pretty simple slope roof. Okay. You can also do the street map if you want to see details. So that's what you can see from the human perspective. When you drive a car, that's the building looks like. Okay, so you're gonna model this. So I will show you the first approach. So go to modeling, go to building. I want to model this as a footprint. So with the right color, maybe I'm gonna choose something with the right color, like a brick or something close as my default material. Then I will go ahead, just draw the footprint. Double click finish. You're done. And you can see the building, of course, is not in the right height. However, this one is a procedural model. So that means if I select the building and push it down close to 1 story high, you see the facade will automatically update. Right? So you don't really see the 4 story anymore. So that's a really quick way to generate a rough building. And then I will change the slope. Let's do 30 degree. You have the slope. So that's how you do the slope. If you want to have a right color roof, I would go ahead, change. You can do more style, or you can use some of the default styles. You can choose more style. There's a large collection there. So that's the building looks like. Okay, I can deselect, look around. That's pretty good. So that's how you do the building as a procedural based modeling. I think that's probably majority of the building can be done like this way. Okay, all right. So that is the first option. Second option to do the building is to use 3D model in a style palette. So this can be done by, let me just move this building a little bit so you can just move this a little bit. Oops. Okay, just move it really far away. Okay. So the second option is using the 3D palette. The first thing I want to do is style palette, and I go to 3D model. This is the collection of 3D model. I will go to building, and there are furniture, neighborhood, and residential. Okay, some furniture, interesting. Well, I will go to the residential, and I want to find something that looks like a red roof, maybe this one. So I know the name is a single story. Okay, brick. So that's the name. Then I will go here in the city furniture. You want to actually search it. So this is called red brick. You can type a keyword. So that's the. I think this one is pretty close. So select this building as your default, and then double click your site. So it's loading that building directly here. As you can see, this one has more details, but is as it is. You are not able to really change the material or change the the details. I can rotate this because I really care about the front, so I just rotate this. You can also change the scale by drag this up. Alright, so have this building right there. So this and this, they all works. It really depends on the location or the style of your building. So for example, in this intersection, I think here is a church. So if I bring here, you can see that's the church looks like. So instead of create from scratch, you could check the neighborhood. There's a church right here. That actually looks pretty good. You can actually double click. You can see that's pretty close. Okay, so if you want to use this church, back to city furniture, you're gonna go ahead, type church. So that's the one, and then you double click this location. So you're gonna loading this church right here, and you probably want to do the scale. So select, move up, move up, move up. Okay, so that's a church looks like. It's actually pretty good. So although it's not exactly the same, we don't really care. I think for the driving simulation, because it's gonna drive really fast, it's not necessary to create architectural details. So if it looks like a church, that's all we need to know. Maybe move up a little bit. Okay, so that is a 3D model of a church. For the building here, this is pretty generic. So again, you probably want to use this as your reference. So this is like a single, two sloped. Some of them is a flat. So here I will just do the building, and it's very generic. So I will just using the generic one, and you can define the shape. For the back, double click. So that's the building, and then you want to drag it down to 1 story high. Okay, so that is how this building can be modeled very quickly, and I think you can also see the the roof. Let's just change this to 12 feet, and I will give the roof slope to 20. Well, actually, I should keep this as a flat, so 0. Yeah. If you do want to do another sloped roof, I prefer you just drag the footprint here, then you'll do another city furniture just adjacent to it. So most likely this will be a 2 independent. I think I'm using the wrong one, not city furniture, the building. Right, so for this new one, you can drag it and then change the roof slope to, I don't know, 30. So this one has a roof, okay, but this part is flat. That's how you're gonna actually model most of the building along the road. I think this is a little bit too high. Let's drag it to 1 story high. Right, so this is 1 story high now. Okay, and you can also change the material if it's from brick to stucco to concrete. There's a lot of options here. So let's go to concrete and choose this option. So this is more like a concrete storage. You can also change the color of the roof. So right now it's no color. I can change it to maybe brown color. So that's the roof looks like. Okay. So again, pay attention to the reference. Using that to help you to create a 3D model, right? As close as you can. All right. I think that's pretty much about the building. I will break down into other tutorials like tree or utility pool and other city furniture. So that's in other tutorials. All right.